Welcome everybody to another episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature with your host Wallace Ryan and your favorite mistress Luna.
So this is an interesting show today.
What do you have planned for us, Wallace?
Today is going to be today's Dystopian Future Day.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like to call her 1984 edition.
Yes.
For the futures that are just tearing us all apart.
2 + 2 = 5. How many times do I have to tell you?
I know. I'm trying. I'm seeing it. Okay, give me number 10 in our countdown here.
Okay, and first runner-up by John Broome.
Yeah.
And Murphy Anderson is the Atomic Knights. I said that wrong. The Atomic Knights.
Yay! Now the Atomic Knights, this I came across in reprints in the 70s, and I kind of loved it, mainly for the art, the Murphy Anderson artwork. I like something neat about his. There's something neaty poo.
Me.
Here, let me show the people. Here are the Knights. Go neat. But yeah, I always loved Anderson's artwork. Very, very, very luscious type of artwork. But yeah, these are these guys who are, it's after the great disaster, whatever, and they have these suits of armor that basically protect them from radioactivity, I do believe it was, or something like that, and you know, they went out fighting all kinds of menaces in a post-atomic world. Now this is from the 50s, so you know, that's some pretty old, dystopian future stuff there.
Okay, next up we have, of course, a classic, Planet of the Apes.
One of the classic dystopian sci-fi ones, which of course made it into the comics. Marvel had the rights to it in the 70s, and it came out as a magazine. Actually, the artwork actually is pretty good in it too. And I think a lot of it is. Alfredo A. Kayla. Let me see who that is. I think that is. It looks like it. Oh yeah, that's definitely.
When the Lawgiver returns.
Let me see. I'm pretty sure A. Kayla did a lot of it. He was one of my favorites. Yeah. Okay, Mike Plug. Oh, okay, Tom Sutton. Oh, okay. Oh, Chair Monty. Okay, must be Mike Plug. I'm thinking. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely Plug. So yeah, Mike Plug, one of my favorite artists. He did Man-Thing and some Werewolf by Night, Ghost Rider 2, I do believe. But I always liked his artwork.
Wow, you have quite the stack here, Will.
Oh, we've gone full dystopian for this episode, and this actually really is. I mean, the apes and all that. How dystopian can you get? Well, I guess we can get a bit more dystopian.
You're like, oh no, we thought you were cute until you went all political.
I know.
Here we have American Flag, not to be confused with American Dad.
Yeah. This is, of course, the classic dystopian future tale by Howard Chaykin. This was from the 80s, and I loved it. It was, remember that black...
I like the style of this.
Yeah, the Black Kiss book from last week, from our Forbidden Fruits episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is him again, and it was great. It was like a sexy James Bond, or he was like a sexy urban James Bond, taking on the system.
I love the art style.
Oh yeah.
Who's the artist?
Howard Chaykin, one of my favorite, and Dennis's, one of Dennis's all-time favorites. So great artwork, great series.
Great minds think alike.
Yes. Now, of course, today in today's world, this would be hard. This book will be hard on the fragile people, the brittle folk, I like to call them, right? The ones who can't take, a naked body without it going insane. But yes, a classic series. So definitely, that's as dystopian as it gets, I'll tell you.
And here we have a little mouse.
Oh yeah, and mice, I mean not mice, but animals do figure into some of these dystopian tales.
Mishka. Scurry.
Da-da-da-da. And this is a fabulous one. I love this. I think it's only available online, I do believe. But I read it, I can't remember who turned me on to it, but then I read it and it was just like, oh, this is great. And this is a dystopian tale with mice, but no humans. I mean, they're in houses, they're going around wrecked cars, stuff like that, and living and cutting through farmland and stuff like that, but you don't see any humans, like all the humans are gone.
That sounds like a Don Bluth film that I know of.
Yeah?
It has mice, rats, and owls.
Sorry, there was a cat trying to break into the studio here. Sorry. Yeah, that's, it's not the Legend of Nim, is it? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. But
Something
this
like
one,
that.
I'll, but it's really strange. I mean, you're really liking the mice, and you get to.
Wow, it's very detailed though.
Yeah, but beautifully done. I love it. I started.
Done by hand or computer?
Computer. Now I guess he draws it and then he just colors it using the computer, right?
Has so much depth.
Yeah, and and this is how you can do this. This is computer coloring and drawing done properly. He's able to really use the Photoshop to full effect. But it's a great story anyway. But it's really spooky. Like I say, you see all these abandoned buildings they're in, stuff like that. But there's no sign of humans whatsoever. It's just the animals fighting it out in whatever's left of the world. So yeah, Scurry, highly recommended. There's 3 volumes out of it now, and
I really want to read this one.
oh, it's so cool, right? Okay.
And where would we be without Jack Kirby?
Exactly. And this is one of my favorites, OMAC, the One Man Army Corps. And I can remember when this first came out.
Keep it close up on that cover there.
I know. This one, when it first came out as a kid, I was reading it. It was just like, oh my God, it blew my mind as a kid. And it was mainly the cover of the first issue. It's
Kablam! Pow!
Kablamo.
Crack!
Kablooey.
This is like all just sounds on this page. And
Yeah.
more sounds. I'll get to like... There.
There. And the what I like is the even right from the start the first issue, the cover of the first issue. Oh, right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'll hold it up to it. This was the cover, of course. And when I seen this as a kid, number one, it was just like, what the heck is this, right? The world.
Probably wondering how I ended up like this.
Yeah. I started to look into the world that's coming. Da-na-na-na. And then page 1, and then when you open it up, this is what it greeted you. So as a kid, it was just like, it was almost traumatizing. But it was just like, oh my God, this looks so cool and so unlike anything I'd seen before. So I mean, I loved OMAC. It only lasted, I think it was 8 issues. Yeah, 8 issues, but it was one of the cool ones, right?
Okay, next up.
Okay, here's another good dystopian one.
The Last Man.
Why the Last Man?
Wait, what?
Why the Last Man?
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked up
exactly,
on that.
Exactly.
It just says The Last Man right here, but there's like apparently a big Y right there.
And it should be, it's a failure of the design. And even on the side, it has the Y, I guess.
Oh,
but
Stephen King said apparently it's the best graphic novel he's ever read.
Yeah, and so if Stephen King says it, it must be true. Now wasn't there a Why the Last Man TV show for a while too? But yes, there was.
I like Vertigo comics.
Oh, the Vertigo comics were the greatest. And this was a great series. So this guy turns out to be the last man left on Earth. After some sort of, I don't know what, I can't even remember now, it's been a while since I read it, was a plague or something like that. Anyway, he ends up as the last man on Earth. So you can imagine how in demand he was, right? And it's highly, Brian K. Vaughan, one of my favorite authors, he did Saga. Went down to do Saga and all kinds of other great comics, so definitely well worth it. The art isn't too bad, serviceable enough. But yes, worth. Oh yeah, careful.
No books for him.
Okay, this is a good dystopian future one.
Really?
And one of the most dystopian of the DC books. This one of course, Legion of Superheroes, is set in the future anyway. But this was the Legion of Superheroes, what they call the 5 years later And this is where it came back after being cancelled, relaunched as Legion of Superheroes #1, and it starts with the whole thing 5 years later. And the Legion is after falling apart.
My finger's stuck.
The Legion after falling apart, and you know, and they're not wearing their fancy uniforms anymore. But it was a great series. It became a really good series. The artwork throughout this one is great. This is, of course, Volume 2. I got Volume 1 over there in my reading stack.
Have you finished reading that one?
No, but I read most of this when I was younger, but I do want to do a reread of it, so I'm definitely going to reread this, because this is one of my favorite Legion of Superhero stories. One of the best, I think, right? And as in a dystopian future, it's pretty good to have a dystopian representative from a future comic.
Yes. Here we have War of the Worlds.
Oh yes, Killraven. This is the turned into Killraven in the end, but this is by Don McGregor and
Oh, your buddy.
yeah, and
I hope that wasn't your bookmark that just fell out.
that's okay. And P. Craig Russell. Now Don comes on. I can't remember exactly when he came on. He came on. He writes most of it, as a matter of fact, from issue 21. So it starts with 18. There's 18, 19, 20. And then he does the rest, and there were 2 fill-in issues someone else did. But other than that, P. Craig Russell and a couple other people, Chaikin from that other book there, join in, and it's absolutely stunning. I love this. I love this guy's artwork. Show him, let them experience it. So it's one of my all-time favorite dystopian tales from Marvel, without a doubt. Great script. And the drawing is absolutely gorgeous, of course. Gorgeous. And this also includes the graphic novel that they came back and did years later, which was also beautiful. Here we go. So worth it. So yeah, Killraven and War of the Worlds. Definitely a fine dystopian novel, if there ever was one. And we're coming down to #2 here.
We got another Jack Kirby.
Oh my God!
Are you surprised?
Not well. This one, not so much.
Don't you have like every single thing he's ever released?
Just about. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Any book that's been put out, I got. That he's done. Yes, in hardcover at least.
Are
right?
you just saying that to make him jealous?
Yeah, but it's also true. I do believe, because I got this in three. I got 3 different editions of this story.
So this is who? Commande?
Commande, the last boy on Earth, or Commande. And basically he's the last, one of the last surviving humans in a world where basically all the animals have mutated. It's kind of like Planet of the Apes, only all the other animals mutated besides just the apes. So you got apes. You have apes fighting gorillas, giant grasshoppers. Oh, look, Dr. Canis, one of my favorite, the dog. And it was funny because a lot of people, when this first came out in the 70s, a lot of people were like, "Oh, and these are his 3 mutant friends." So they looked human. But when this came out in the 70s, some people were like, "Oh, it's kind of a Planet of the Apes ripoff," and it was just like, well. Not really, because he did a story back in the 50s, before Planet of the Apes came out, even as a novel, that was very much like this story. Mm-hmm. So it's an idea Kirby had long ago. And there's his 3 buddies, the 3 human buddies. But it's an amazing story. He becomes good friends with this tiger prince, Tufton, which is really cool, right? Hmm. But yeah, definitely one of my, if not my favorite, well, we're about to see my favorite, actually, dystopian graphic novel.
Best for last.
Yeah, and this is without doubt, I think, my favorite dystopian graphic novel or comic book series.
V for Vendetta.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, some people would say, why didn't you pick Watchmen as a dystopian? Which it could, I guess, in a way, but this is true. This is real dystopian. And for you fans of 1984, this is like the comic book version of 1984. It's just as good in my mind, and it's all about totalitarianism, freedom of speech, and all that sort of thing.
Thoughtpolice.
Yes, freedom reigns. But this is always one of my favorites because the V, he was such a wild character, right? He takes on the entire British establishment by himself and with his one friend Evie, and they end up bringing down the government. And actually, of all the Alan Moore comics that have been done over the years, graphic novels that have been adapted to film, the Watchmen one wasn't bad, but a lot of them tend to be really terrible, right? Mm-hmm. This is about the only one out of all of them, and even though the movie itself is quite different from the graphic novel, it was still sort of a neat adaptation of it, right? It's.
You know what my favorite dystopian is?
What?
I haven't actually read it, but I can say there is a comic book version of it, Serenity.
Oh, okay,
So
yes,
I'm a huge fan of Firefly.
Okay, and there was a Firefly comic for a while too, actually, from Dark Horse. Was it Dark Horse or Boom?
Like, I've read a couple of the comics, but not the whole series to really see, like, the difference between the movie and
that,
yeah. And the show.
Actually, I haven't seen the movie myself. I know that's blasphemy, but
Space Cowboys.
I do have Firefly on DVD. I should watch it sometime.
Yes. Sure.
So anyway, that's our dystopian episode. You know, to show you just what kind of glorious future we have ahead of us. So we should be happy with. Apparently, there are a lot of animals involved in the dystopian future. So I just be nice to your dogs and cats, because one of these days they're going to be ruling us. So you mentioned having to take orders from Lupo or Loki, right?
Well, we're late for the circus, Wallace.
Oh, we kind of do take orders from the cats, don't we? Speaking of the circus. Okay, we'll see you next week. Hopefully maybe some new books. And check out me and Dennis's Thursday Comics. Again this week, another good list one, another top 10. And in the meantime, keep on reading. And we love you. Thanks for having us over. Bye! Woo!